Hello everybody, once again, this is AikawaKazu and welcome back to more Springwood Best of the Best tournament, and this time it will be the coverage for the top 16 grand finalists for the tournament so far. So this video will actually talk about the different matchups of all the top 16 finalists, and I'll share some insights on what the finalists will probably need to handle or do to be able to win the match, and for you guys to understand more about Dragon Nest PvP. So I'll split the two matches into the upper brackets and the lower brackets of the tournament of these 16 finalists. So in the upper brackets we have Elie vs Fala, Grimoire vs Valante, Starky vs Silin, X-Tror vs Devus, and in the lower brackets we have Zoros vs Elie, Tempo X vs Silver or Malzus, Cryo Magic vs Knight, and finally Shuko vs Deviliers. So I will talk about the upper brackets first, and the first matchup we have will be Elie vs Fala. This is actually a Bowmaster and Acrobat matchup, so in this matchup it will be up to Elie to keep Fala at bay, that means keeping him at range. But Fala, seeing that he has tip-tops, chain trampoline and tumble, will be extremely difficult to keep him at bay. So Elie will need to focus on surviving during the initial fight between these two players, because they are both archer players, both have skills such as urgency trait, while Fala has probably one or two more area evasion skills compared to Elie. So you'll pretty much be tracking arrows versus spiral vortex. Elie will need to capitalize on tracking arrows hitting Fala, and Fala need to use his invisibility frame skills to avoid tracking arrows. But he will not be able to avoid, I think, full damage, not too sure, depends on the skill level of Fala. And Elie will need to capitalize on that to do his damage with charge shots and anchor shot and everything on Fala, while Fala will need to make sure the pressure is on Elie to prevent him from doing much damage. So the invisibility frame of triangle shot, swift shot from Elie will be crucial. Using it for small skills against Fala will be definitely very disadvantageous, as Fala will then be able to push his advantage against Elie. So this will be a very epic match between far range and close combat, and rest assured, every match in the top 16 grand finals will be recorded and will be uploaded in our YouTube channel Desolution, and you can stay tuned for that video when it comes. So the second match we have is Grimoire vs Valante, which is an Elemental Lord and Mercenary matchup. So this matchup will be pretty interesting, as Grimoire is an ice build Elemental Lord. He will not be able to use Fire Shield, because in non-mirror matchups we actually allow Elemental Lords to use Fire Shield. So not too sure if he has Fire Shield or not, or he's going to use a skill reset. I think most likely he will not do that and capitalize on his ice build Elemental Lord. So we know that from the tournament, Grimoire is very good in the early game. So he will need to exhaust the area evasion of Valante at the start, and Valante will need to avoid dying very quickly or losing a bulk of his health at the start. So Valante will need to capitalize on the mid-game to end-game battle. So it depends if Grimoire has improved his mid-game battle, not too sure, but avoiding Glacier Wave and Frost Wind from Valante will definitely be the key, as getting hit by any of those skills will mean that he'll get easily flinched and encountered. But remember that while he is getting hit by Frost Wind, he can use skills like Crisis Howl to hit Grimoire and then commence his own attack. So Grimoire will need to know how to avoid skills like Crisis and Taunting Howl, meaning to say using Frostwind to bait those skills before going in again with Flame Spark to flinch Valante and get him to the ground. After that you'll see the usual Poison, Glacier Wave, Phoenix Storm and Firewall combos. So both players are extremely experienced when it comes to tournaments, so this will definitely be another epic matchup between these two very experienced players. And if you still don't know, Valante is wanted side, so yep. And third match in the upper brackets is Starky vs Silin. So it's a Force User versus Priest matchup. So this will actually be interesting, where Silin will need, because looking at his previous match, he doesn't have Binding or Cure Relic. So for him, he will need to get his Chain Lightning and his other damaging skills such as Holy Burst to hit Starky without getting Time Dodge, which is a reactive time stop from Force users, as well as avoiding Time Dodge entirely. Because if he has Cure Relic, he can actually plant it and actually go a bit more aggressive, knowing that the Cure Relic can actually cure the time stop debuff. So it is up to him to see whether he is skill resetted or not too sure. But if it's only a Lightning Relic damage based build, not too sure how it's going to handle Starky here. Starky definitely just need to know how to do his time stop combos, and he'll definitely need more than one rotation to take down a priest because priests have defensive buffs such as protection shell that reduces the damage taken. So for him, it will just be about being consistent and steady to do his usual combos against Slytherin. But Slytherin definitely stand a chance if he can get his chain lightning and detonates to hit, followed by his holy burst. So avoiding time stop and time dodge will be for Slytherin, and for Starky, you just need to do what he usually does, but avoiding getting hit by those huge damaging skills from the priest. So the fourth matchup in the upper brackets, we have X-Tror versus Das. So Mercenary versus Priest is definitely a very tough matchup, as warriors have dash. So Das will need to know how to do the strategic placement of relics. If I'm not wrong, you should go and watch the video by LOL Yao from the Westwood tournament where he actually did so, but didn't quite manage to finish it in the end. So Das will need to know the strategic placement of relics and the correct use of defensive skills, which are timely, will definitely be crucial. You need to save skills like Avenging Wave, which is a counter for Priest similar to Crisis Hall where you flinch your opponent, for real moments or for crucial moments where opponent might be using the heavy damaging skills such as Rolling Attack or Whirlwind. And Avenging Wave will definitely cancel those skills, so saving those skills and not using that skill from the start will definitely be important. For X-Tror, he needs to know how to dodge, detonate, and learn to counter skills that break Priest super armor, like breaking the super armor for Holy Burst as well as Chain Lightning. So he needs to avoid those skills, but Warriors have relief, so if it turns out to be the mid game, X-Tror will definitely be in an advantage, but as the game progresses in the long game, Das can use skills such as Healing Relic, Cure Relic, Binding Relic, and many other skills as well. So for X-Tror, I think, or I suggest that he should go aggressive right from the start and see how it goes, or come up with a combination of skills such as Rolling Attack and Whirlwind to finish off Das at the start. But once again, Priests have skills like Protection Shell, which prevents them from getting comboed in just one rotation. So definitely another interesting matchup, seeing that Das has a complete build with Cure Relic and Binding Relic. So he needs to survive until he's able to use those relics then, and then capitalize on using those relics like Binding Relic, where he will be catching X-Tror to do all his damage. So that will be the upper brackets, and I'll share my own personal prediction for the upper brackets. I believe Fala will manage to win LC, and Valante will be able to win Grimoire. So Fala will win Valante in the top 8, and I think Starky will be able to win Slytherin, followed by X-Tror will be able to win Das as well. So Starky, I think in the end, in the semi-finals, Fala will manage to win Wanted side because he's not so good at battling acrobats yet. Maybe he did, not too sure if he evolved to being very pro acrobats yet. But if he can perform like 777 in the Shanda Best of 4 tournament, then definitely he stand a chance against Fala. But if not, Fala will meet Starky in the semi-finals as a mercenary against a Force user. Unless X-Tror is experienced in fighting Force users, he will definitely have some difficulty against a top Force user like Starky. So in the end, we'll see a finals between, we'll see Fala win Starky in the semi-finals, just like how TS Pro Hacker actually managed to win Stormwinds in the semi-finals in the Greenwood tournament, because I think acrobats are definitely very hard to be hit by time dodge, as they have many invisibility frame skills. So we'll see Fala going into the finals, the grand finals in the end. So right now we'll talk about the lower half of the brackets, and in the first match we have Zoros versus Elie, which is a Paladin versus Acrobat matchup. And Paladin versus Acrobat match can go either way. For Zoros, I think the timely use of super armor breaking skills like Armor Break will be important. Catching the Acrobat with Shinbreaker should not follow up with a combo, but look forward to exhausting skills like Counter Circle Shot. So he needs to use Shinbreaker to bait skills like Counter Circle Shot, but he needs to avoid getting hit by that, because if he gets hit, it will be opening for the Acrobat to actually combo him. So he will need to last until Lightning Zap is up and making sure it hits the opponent, and this will be the key for him to win, because Acrobat, which is Lightning Zap, is crippled, as jumping around will cause them to fall if they are in mid-air. So with that, he needs to capitalize on that moment to go through with skills like Holy Bolt when they are getting flinched by the Lightning Zap debuff, and maybe to get Electric Smite to hit. So getting Electric Smite to hit to do huge damage will be also the key against a skillful acrobat like Elie. For Elie, he just needs to exhaust every evasion of Zoros and always be prepared for auto block during his combos. And he needs to come up with probably a simple combo that allows Spiral Vortex damage to hit, and he should be fine if he actually just rinse and repeat that while avoiding all those skills that I've mentioned. And he must avoid Lightning Zap. Yeah. So for the next match in the lower brackets, we have Tempo X versus Mauzus. And yeah, it's actually Silver who is the second Sword Master in the tournament, and they are definitely very unlucky to meet each other again right after their match, because you know the brackets are randomly generated and it will not be fair for the other opponents if I actually resetted the brackets. So I guess this time Malzus will have to find his own style within these 2 weeks for him to be able to beat Tempo X. If not, it will be not easy for him to do so. And Tempo X cannot be complacent as well, as Silver or Malzus has to level a new SM to probably follow the same skill build as he had, which does not take parrying stance since it's soft ban, and instead use the SP for that for passive parry to increase the chance of parrying during a fight. So the match could go either way if they are using the same skill build, as parrying during a combo allows the opening of a skill such as Counter Slash or Counter Wave, which actually flinches the Sword Master, so the match could go either way once again. Next up, we have Cryo Magic vs Able Knight, which is an Elemental Lord and Paladin matchup. So they're both extremely skilled players for mid to end game matches. Able Knight will need to avoid skills such as Glacial Wave and getting caught by Frostwind and Flame Spark, while due to the invincibility frame of Shinbreaker and Sidestep, slowing down a Paladin might not always work in your favor. Such examples can be Paladins in the Force User slow AoE skill, whereby their invisibility frame of Sidestep and Shinbreaker is actually extended because they are executing the skill over an extended period of time, which means that Cryo Magic slowing Able Knight down might not always be good if he does not know how to control the timing of his skills to not cast his skills too quickly, because he might still be in the visibility frame. For Able Knight, once again, similar to Zoros, you just need to get Lightning Zap to hit Cryo Magic and work on getting the most out of the advantageous moment when the Elemental Lord is flinched by the Lightning Zap attack. So you just need to get his Electric Smite and his other damaging skills to hit during that moment, and of course he needs to survive until his Lightning Zap skill is up. So last but not the least, we have Shuko vs Deviliers, which is a Force User and Bowmaster matchup. Force User and Bowmaster matchups are definitely interesting. This reminds me of Consulate vs Stormwinds in the Greenwood Invitational tournament, and go watch that video if you haven't. Shuko will need to avoid tracking arrows at all costs, and the use of time dodge here is of most importance. What I mean here is Shuko will need to avoid tracking arrows by either using teleport to go under the bridge, or to use Blink extremely well, like what Stormwinds has did in the video if you haven't. Stormwinds managed to avoid the full damage of tracking arrows by using Blink, which is definitely not easy. For Deviliers, I hope he have improved his far range accuracy to keep Shuko from coming in, though that will also be extremely difficult with teleport skill from the Force User. Or he can bait Shuko to come close while battling skills like Time Stop and Time Dodge with his own invisibility frame skills, such as Triangle Shot and Swift Shot. Definitely another epic match between these two players, and my personal predictions for this lower brackets will be that Elie will meet Tempo X in the top 8, Cryo Magic will meet Deviliers in the top 8, and Tempo X will meet Deviliers in the semi-finals, followed by Tempo X meeting Fala in the end in the finals, and it will be an epic Swordmaster vs Acrobat finals that I have not managed to see in the past 2 tournaments, and I was hoping to see. Yup, I think many people was hoping that Mizu Ego will fight X Phantom X in the finals of the Westwood tournament, but X Phantom X didn't actually participate in the tournament, so and a Swordmaster vs Acrobat match will definitely be pretty epic. So not that I'm looking forward to this, but this is my own personal predictions. Do leave in the comments below your own personal predictions, or of the whole tournament, or simply the winners of the specific matchup that I mentioned in the upper and lower brackets. Once again, this is AikawaKazu. I hope you like this little analysis. All of them are just my own personal opinion. It's not fact true for anything, it's just what I've seen in the tournament and just my own views. So remember to like and subscribe to show your support. Head over to theendeternity.com to read the article about this video as well. So once again, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.